All right, guys, I'm going to catch you guys up with where we're at. James is here, Marcus is here. I'll walk you around that project and show you what he's got going on over there before we do. So, best scenario without taking everything apart is to, James and I, he was working on the other side. We've come out here, specific distance of 12 7/8. What was that, 12 and a half? Anyhow, we've got this one nice and flat. We're going to true this up somehow to where we know that these two floors would match up. Make some sort of temporary tunnel on the top just out of something bent to help stable it. Then I'm going to build some gussets under here. So I wanted to catch you up on that. That's what James and I are doing. We got the little saw set up out here. And those little metal blades that you buy for 70 bucks, they're worth it. Word, James? Yeah, those things are good. So, Marcus is task-oriented. We both know this. We all know this. He's gone to town on this. So, this is the 1949 Chevy 5-window that I got. We'll go through it a little bit more later on throughout the day. But he's out here with that tool, getting this thing all cleaned up and doing a fantastic job. So I'll catch you guys up with the progress on that as the day continues, the progress with this as this continues. But that's where we're at. I'm not going to be carrying you around with me a lot today. We're just going to be catching you up as progress goes. I've just got a lot to do in a I'm fixing it. Yeah, well, record me while I weld, fucker. That's what I would burn through. I would just... Marcus is killing it out here. Let me show you guys this. He is task-oriented. Knocked a fan over. Guys, it's like midday. Oh, Marcus has been over here for a few hours just nailing it. James and I are working on the supports for the frames, or excuse me, the support for the body, so that we can build some frame mounts but have the body already secure. Like the body is one piece and then we'll make frame mounts to put that on there. That metal saw tip blade, metal chop saw, that blade, spend the money. Spend the money. James is badass. He's knocking it out. We're just staying on task. I've got a lot of the inside done. Let me show you guys that. Or not done, but cleaned up, cut up, trimmed up. All the welds ground down. Where I need to weld is cleaned up. I'm gonna flip you around. So this is what I've been doing, is getting that cleaned up, that flat, cleaned up. Trying to get all of this to where we have got some good hot welds. That's secure. He's building the mount, the body mount, so for the transmission tunnel. He's building that. It's gonna be the same thing in the front, just a little bigger, or excuse me, a little smaller. Front, the rear is bigger, so that we can secure all of that, and it takes the wobble out of this. And you guys remember what it was doing right there when we do this. So he's on that. That's cleaned up. Marcus is going. We'll start on this one next so that we can get that mocked up, build body mounts, cut out for the transmission tunnel, finish the bottom, and this thing will be secured to the frame. legitimately, so that we can go ahead and spin in and start on all the floors. Now, we still gotta build seat mounts, backrest, that sort of thing. We're taking all this into consideration while we're doing this so that the frame will support whatever we do. So let's jump back into this. We'll do some explaining. So he's got that going on. We're gonna have a piece that goes here to here, okay? Here up, over a little bit, and then back into here. From here up to the top of the transmission tunnel so that we have flat pieces on everything. Got me? And so all of this is out of, I believe, 16 gauge. So it's all structured, you know what I mean? Still kind of lightweight. Then I've got some 1/8 inch that I'll go ahead and start building up all of this shit. So it's it, and that's that. I'll catch you guys up in a few. Like I said, it's midday. I'm gonna take a drink, stretch my legs for a minute, walk around, switch out the dogs, and be back at you. I've got to show you guys where we're at now. Everybody just left. I went inside and ate some dinner. Marcus went to work on this. Check this out now. I'm going to do a video of this. He got busy. And this thing is in such good shape, metal-wise. A few little rust spots, but that's not to be, that is to be expected. James and I jumped on the Coupe. We've got it up on the lift. I put the stands in the rear and just the blocks in the front so that we can move it up and down to get the doors and everything right before we went to town. So this is where we're at now. Let me move this big old, we had the seat sitting in here. So this is what we've got so far. Real simple, straightforward. We'll cut out the middle piece. Let's see, we'll cut this middle piece out right here. Once everything is built, we're using that for rigidity right now. But these are all holding on. We got a little cross brace here. Our upper tunnel mount is there. We'll cut that piece out, of course, too. We've got it structured enough to where everything is stitched together and these don't move anymore. Remember how this was doing this? Keeping our doors from aligning and looking good. Transmission is not centered. We've got to pull it back over like 3/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch. That way, if you remember, this transmission mount is solid mounted. So I'm going to have to build something for that anyway. So I was like, well, I got to cut this out first and get that transmission out. Build a new transmission mount. So now we've got that to there. We had tape coming from the back to that. You remember that? From there to there, and then we'll have a tape line up here to up here. Still got to build this out and over so that we have a solid spot for floorboards, and then up to the firewall as such on both sides. But this is our rough layout. Still got to get up underneath right here, build some gussets that come out. I want to catch the weight out here, so that once we have seats and everything in there, it's transferring everything to the frame and not just sitting on top of the deal. Now, oh, the shop is a huge mess. You hear how easy that closed now? The shop is a huge mess. I've got stuff everywhere. I don't care. I'm not going to get too far into cleaning it. Dixie's losing her mind because my kids are playing volleyball in the front. That's about it for today. Very productive day. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, James. Johnny come by and hung out for a little bit, so that's always awesome. Marcus went through batteries. That little tool, man, you got to have one of those. Oh, and that steel blade for the chop saw, get one. This little, man, that's a bad machine right there. We have only used, we've done, Marcus has done, I did a little bit, and then he came and refined it. maybe half a flap, half a wheel, maybe a 1/4 inch is off of it. Corners are kind of rounded over, so it's hard to get in cracks, but I still have, I believe it was, what was it, 240 and like 180 or something like so. Yeah. That's where I'm calling it for today. We're going to be out working tomorrow. I'll be back in here tomorrow afternoon. We have a couple of windy days, but I have a ton of service calls to do. We got to get some concrete prepped. We got to get out and clean a bunch of fence. So, story of my life. But getting to work is where we get to pay for shit. So, you got to pay to play. I'm going to head inside, guys. I'll catch up with y'all on the next one. Dixie just ran through here and tripped over one of my cords and knocked my grinder down. Probably broke my cutoff wheel. Anyhow, I'll catch you guys in a few. I'm just trying to do what I can do, guys. I have a few hours a day at best. I get out here, get some stuff done. Lots going on. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Anyhow, I just wanted y'all to see some cool shit today and probably cheer me on because I'm getting tired, guys. And it just never seems like it's moving fast enough, I guess. And I mean, there's just a lot of work that goes into it that nobody ever sees. And it's just hours after hours after, and I knew this. I do this to myself every time and I bitch and complain. But when it rolls out like Whiskey Dent did, that's when it's all worth it. So, all right, let me catch you guys up to where I'm at now. So, there's a little background noise. Marcus is back there working on the doors. So, what you just seen just a few minutes ago, we got this brace in. This one right here that goes all the way across. It's at a 90, so I have some machine gun on it too. Okay. We still have our little transmission tunnel here. I haven't fully welded anything. I was trying to get a visual of what needs to happen. Okay. What can we do and where does it need to be? So I'm trying to hug everything best I can, as close as I can, and still have a neat sweeping line. You know what I mean? I don't want it like all crazy and gotcho, but something that's just really simple. Keep in mind we got to put a shifter in between these two, okay? That's where it would be when we set Marcus in here, was right in between those two. Now, it still has this brace for like the old school low card shifters, and that would be pretty dandy. So, there's a swap meet tomorrow. I'm going to go see if I can find a upper portion to that. I've just about got all of this set up right. So this is going to be a right angle so that we have something strong for the fan that sits here. It's going to curve into here. You know, that's why I needed the transmission tunnels, so that I can physically see where, and this one here is going to be pointing up towards that right there. See what I'm saying? I just didn't have a long enough piece of strap. So that's going to go to that one, and that gives this support up to this. So we got a flat plate there, flat in there. All of these bottoms, we're going to go ahead and put some heavier gauge material, sound deaden it, get that on, and then we'll have the nice decorative metal that sits on top and fastens down to everything that I'm doing here. So, if that made any sense, wow. Let me show you what Marcus has got going on. This is the other receptacle. This is the one I got. Like to say this, they're way better than these coaches on that. I did happen to get seats that I've had forever that I wanted to use on a project sitting in here. Marcus and I did jump in there and check it out. And plenty of leg room. Oddly enough, plenty of room for a big old speaker box, which excites me to death because I can put the amps under the seats. Just catching you guys up on that. I got to get back to the coupe, so I'll check in with you guys in just a bit. All right, boys and girls. Today is going to be a day of crunch time. Today is Monday, super windy outside, so I'm in the shop. Got all my stuff done. It's around noon. I've got to finish up some bracing. I'm going to take you over here to Miss Do-Right and show you what I've got so far, what my concerns were, how I address those concerns, and that sort of thing. So, before we jump into that, I would like to show you guys a side project. It's not even a project. It's the battle of the vintage parts. In essence, I've got a license plate frame on a pedestal, which is cool, with a neat little brake light on it that is old school. Found it at a swap meet for like $5. I want to get the screws out, and it's already posing a problem. If you're on my other social media stuff, you've seen this. We did the day one today, got it soaked down, applied some heat, and it's actually day two because I did it yesterday, or no, day before when Marcus was here. Let me flip you guys around and show you all this. Cool little license plate frame. And of course it's got the 2 standard screws in there. They're stuck, of course. Pretty neat little unit, and I would like to have that at least cleaned up and fixed. There's a little repair that goes there, but kind of a neat deal. With it being old school, I think that adds to it. It's original, not a repop, so that's always awesome. Let me take you over here to Miss Do-Right, peeps. Let's take a look, okay? Now, I haven't been carrying you guys around with me. There's been a lot of lickety split mode, aka time lapse. But while I'm doing this, I'm trying to keep you guys watching longer, okay? This is the whole point of this. Whenever I drag y'all into the videos and I'm showing y'all what, I lose half of you. So just updates work for me. It's faster for me. I can get more shit done. I've got a ton of content in the computer. I've got to edit. I've got like 4 or 5 videos going. All of them are about halfway done. So, I mean, it's just, it is what it is, okay? So, and I do have some guys that are looking at getting all my apparel merch. Apparel swag is what I've called it in the past. Let me flip you guys around. I've done enough rambling. So, y'all remember, and I haven't really walked through this, but just briefly, okay? Y'all remember we put the, let me take this out, okay? I'll show you this piece in a second. This is what I've been working on, and it's taken forever. So, y'all remember these, okay? I've pointed to these before. Just a few minutes ago, I went through these. So we've got a square frame, correct? What we're trying to do is build rigidity. Now, with this being here, we need to cap all this off. We need something that we can burn here. We need to structurally burn in these squares. Squares being, this is square, that's not, but this is square. Same thing on this side, okay? So yesterday I came out here before anybody started coming over. It's Sunday, and I like to not work on Sundays, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. So I sat out here, and that piece took me a while to craft, okay? So what this is going to do, this is just angle iron, okay? And let me put this way. This piece of angle, I've got bed frames down here. I was at a swap meet, bought some cool stuff, and the guy said, I'll give you the bed frames. I was like, no, I'll pay for them. It's only $5. You can't even get steel for that price. So, and bed frames are hardened steel, which kind of sucks, but they work good for stuff like this. You just need to make sure that your welds penetrate and it sticks. So anyhow, these are just bed frames, guys. We're still trying to do this on a budget. Best we can. Anybody can do this. You guys can do this. I'm not a fab shop, okay? And I've got this where it's cut in pretty good. I don't like that gap there. I can put a piece there. I'm going to burn all of this in. There's a little gap there. But now I have a lip down here that runs on that square tubing, the rectangular tubing that was there. Comes up, so I've got enough gap in here. I can fill in all of this stuff, okay? I'm on the back now. You see how this all fits together? And I can burn that in. Got a little swoop down there so that it looks nice. See what I'm talking about down there? You know, instead of just having a sharp right angle, 90-degree angle. Okay, so now with that being there, and it's the same on this side right here, guys, the side I'm on. I've got another piece that I'll show you guys in here in just a second. But what we've got going on is now we've got, this is boxed in. We have a flat surface that everything can sit on. Now, there are rivets that stick out just a little bit on this. So I'm gonna drill out the top of the rivet, I'm gonna drill out other holes, and I'm gonna do like rosette welds, okay? This, where this flap sits over, this is pretty true, so it's not too bad, okay? The body mount bolts will have to come out. You can see that they're cockeyed right now. I have them loose. I have the body, everything is slid where it needs to be. So I'll enlarge that hole, put 1/2-inch hardware in there, okay? So I'm gonna have a piece that sits midway on this, copes out around that, comes over here in one piece, okay? Now that this is in the back, I've got 2 pieces, so it's gonna go up and back around that corner. This is gonna be a transmission tunnel, okay? So the back, so this will be open. I've gotta cut out a bunch of stuff. I still need to make some bracing in the back for this to secure to this, okay? So we have this piece square, this piece. This is gonna be transmission tunnel. We have this piece. We have this piece here. So I've got the same thing on this side, and I've got a little piece of angle iron cut for this one. So what I've done here is I've come up, see right here, okay? And I've tried to make a nice contour line where everything has room you can kind of get in here, that sort of thing. Now I am going to want to change that dipstick and the transmission lines while I have this out, but it will be a removable piece anyhow, but I don't want to create myself more work. So I need to clean up all the surface areas and get all of this burned in. This is sitting down here on top of this, so I can burn that in from both sides. You see what I'm getting at? All of this still needs burned in, but this will be a section of floor here to the front. It's going to have another piece that comes out right here, connects to this, and goes over. The piece that goes here and goes up to the firewall, okay? So now we have this piece, a nice floor piece, a nice piece up here, okay? And then transmission tunnel. So I'm trying to make it in small enough pieces that if you need a panel out, you can just take a panel out. Now, we did seat this seat in here. Bomo is going to get us another seat bottom for a seat back because those bus seats fit very well. And the contour is right. So, our seat sticks out 5.5 inches over here, okay? We're going to make seat mounts that are on this. You see what I'm saying? Okay? There's going to be seat clips and springs back here. So the back of the seat is going to have some suspension to it so that you're not getting plumb beat up. Now, I don't expect it to be too rough. However, comfort is an issue, and if you can put some springs in there, and I'm just going to double up some valve springs, find a way to cinch them together and incorporate it to where you're sitting on a couple of valve springs, because valve springs are hard to compress. They will hold our fat asses up, and it'll work out dandy. Okay, so still got to weld everything, but I've got these pieces made. So today, what you're going to see on time lapse is me making this piece, the piece for this side that goes over, and I've got to make some sort of frame from that to that. We still have to have a shifter bracket under here in case that's what we want to do, or later on down the road it needs to be done. It will be done. However, these transmission tunnel pieces will be where everything can come apart. You know what I mean? It's going to go together like a Lego set. Okay, so y'all comprende? Y'all still with me? I'm about done, so hold on. So on the back, so we're going to make a flat piece on the back. You guys remember the fuel cell sits right in here and then slides all the way up to these corners, okay? I'm going to make a flat piece on the back. I'm going to come up with some sort of little X-brace so that we can put a piece on there where it's not vibrating. Of course, it's going to have a few lines in it for rigidity. Going to come off, let me point over here. It's easier to see. We're going to come off this corner, excuse me, this corner here. We're going to go to the body, contour to that body line, and come back in, okay, on both of these pieces, and it'll have a seam in the middle of some sort. That's how we fasten these pieces in. That way, the back of our cab will be closed off, minus the top, and there's still going to have to be something here, but I want to wait until we get the seat. the seat's going to be here. We're going to be blocked off here. So let's say we got a trunk wall and we've got a top piece. The top piece we can probably do in one. Now, with that seat setting 5.5 inches up here, okay, it sticks out just a little past the door. The back of it sits right in this little area, okay? Let's say that we have springs on it. We have pivot mounts up here. My thinking is, and this is just a plan, an idea, a thought, and plans never work out, so it's just an idea or a thought, is if we can flip that seat up and have some sort of little box of sort, suitcase type area sitting in here somewhere. Now, if you guys remember the first video, or if y'all watched the first video, if you haven't, go back and watch it. With that fuel cell sitting all the way to the back, it was a little hard to maneuver, this, that, and the other. Okay, I moved the shocks from the inside, remember, they were up here, and I just flipped them around to the other side, okay, so that we can use the inside if we need to. So, now if you're thinking there's a seat back here, we've got a panel, and we move that fuel cell back, now all of a sudden we've got a lot more room in there, okay, for tools and things of such. You know, if you wanted to carry a tire tool, some zip ties, duct tape, baling wire, you know, all the stuff that you're going to need for a field fix. It gives you adequate amount of room in there. Now, where was that? So now that we've got that kind of modeled in, you guys will be on some more lickety split. I know, hold on, you know, hold your horses. I try to get there. But I'm going to go ahead and carry you guys under here with me and show you what I'm working with today. Let me turn this light on. So I'm going to just walk you through right quick what I'm thinking and how I'm going about doing this. So I've got the 31 Coupe up on the left, okay? We've got to finish welding all this tube structure that I have in here, okay? If you remember, whenever we first jumped into here, let me put a light over here. When we first jumped into here, you remember how they did this? They got that old dirty bump stop right there, and none of these joints back there. If you're looking up at the tip of the flashlight, let me see if I can get this to stay right there. Perfect. So if you're looking, and we're looking at this right here, all that needs to be cleaned up and welded. This back here I've already cleaned up, but I'm going to burn all of this back in. It wasn't too far out to where it caused me a big concern, but it's still something that needs to be done. Now, this little piece, if you watched me put any of this in here, this is that little piece of bed frame. And I got it. I need to clean this up and get this. There's another one right here that needs to come off. But anyhow, this is what we're looking at underneath. Of course, this will have to be cut out and this will have to be cut out because we have our drive shaft that goes right here to the end of that transmission. Let's see where it's at, right there, under the glove. So, before we cut anything, I'm gonna go through here and finish welding all of these. I gotta clean everything up and get it welded in. Keep in mind, this transmission crossmember has to be removable. They've got this welded in from the top up here. So I'm just going to make some brackets, put it on there, and then when I take the tins out from, you know, all of this that I'm building, I'll cut that out and it'll just be sitting on brackets. That way the transmission cross member is removable. So there's still quite a bit that I've got to do up in here and in the back. I'm gonna carry you guys along with me today. We got a beautiful day. It's windy. It's been super hot here, but it's gonna be like an 85-degree day. So good day to be out here. Got to finish weld all of the purchase. Remember we put these up in here? Oh, you can't really see it. We put it up in here and it's all welded on the outside, but I've got to come in here and get all that welded up. Oh, there's that. I got to do that. I'll lower it. Hopefully that should just take a couple hours, okay? Could turn into a bigger deal. Oh, I got to make 2 body mounts. It just turned into a bigger deal. Surprise, surprise. So, I'm going to go ahead and get started on all of that. Carry you guys along with me. I'll show you the rear, but I've got several hours of welding and fab. Then we're gonna pull the interior back out. When I have that finished welded, I'm going to go ahead, get the interior, or when I say the interior, the sheet metal that we've cut in here, and put everything into place. If you're looking at this, okay, this is our floor structure, this is our bracing, this is the sheet metal that touches this, okay? Once all that's done, I can come in here and get all of this. I mean, if you're looking at this, guys, it's all really close. I tried to take my time when I did the sheet metal work so that it is nice and clean, okay? I would like to get all of this floor structure done today and start mocking up seats. Once I get this finished welded, I can let it down, pull the sheet metal out. We already know where it's gonna be, correct? You remember any of this? We already know where it's gonna be. I can go ahead and get big tabs for the seat belts and the seats. If I can get the floors done today, awesome. If I can get the seat belts done today and some seats in there, even better. So we're gonna get to grinding, guys. Hold on to your horses, let's do this. You know, I thought of something and I'll share this with you guys. If you've been watching for any amount of time, you know that I'm not a professional welder, and I've never been good or have figured out secrets to weld underneath. So I know a few tips and tricks. I'm going to apply those. You guys keep in mind that this is something that anybody can do. If you're fretting about it, just get out there and figure it out. How about that? So I just wanted to bring you in for that. Tell you that right quick, that I'm going to figure this out. So jump back into lickety split. Well, guys, I'm kind of at a stopping point. I can't find any of my screw guns. I'm missing one grinder. I need my screw gun with a chuck on it, not one with the little hex attachment deal. So I'm gonna run out to my truck and look for that. For whatever reason, the lift is stuck up. As soon as I raise it and it gets pressure on there, my pump squeals real loud. And it's got plenty of hydraulic fluid in it, so I don't know about that. So that's how I'm gonna go ahead and go into lunch. But anyway, I'm gonna go get my screw gun. I'm gonna go ahead and drill these 4 holes, put the Zerks in there so that I can put this bracket on while this is stuck up and get this done. All that's welded. Got to weld in these little pieces here. I've just about got everything done in the back, and then I'm gonna move to the front and try to figure out why my lift won't go down afterwards. So that's where I'm at. Guys, I'm gonna catch you up to where I'm at on this, and we'll just make this the end of this video. We've got quite a bit going on. So we got the lift down. Thank you, Mike. He came out here with this Kubota. We picked the front up, pried the ram over, dropped right on down. No trouble whatsoever. So let me just catch you up because it didn't look like I was very thorough throughout this video. So front and back seats, these are bus seats. I'm going to make some brackets for them. That's where they need to sit. I think that we like the fit of that. And now that we've got it back down, I can start pulling this stuff out. But of course, this all welds to that. So all the pieces are cut. But I need to make seat brackets and put the seat belts on there. So next video, that's where I'm going to start out. But I just wanted to tell you guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out. A lot of new guys on here. Thank you very much. All my day ones that have stickers, hit me up. And I guess that's where I'm going to leave you guys. Yeah, that's it. Guys, peace, cheers, and until next time, guys, I appreciate you watching. If you found value in it, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, feel free to do so. And on to the next adventure. Thanks, guys.